government. So I just wanted to correct that impression.
Well, I am Ekong Samson. I speak for Akwa Ibom South. I'm not too sure of the premises that my colleagues, pinned their opinion. In Akwa Ibom State, we do our handshake across borders. We extend our handshake across borders, and it was very, very commendable when the chairman who represents the LJ of the SP he was sworn in on Monday. I went, took pictures with him. I'm of the PDP stock, he of the APC stock. At the end of his swearing in, we went to your place and we shared some bottles of understanding with your chairman of council. And we also had councillors from the APC stock in Akwa Ibom State. We are councillors. Some mention has been given of the chairman of council. Not a word has been said that in my state there are some councillors from the APC stock. Clearly, you find that in Akwa Ibom State there is democracy at work. So Benue may have become a metaphor of sorts, but in Akwa Ibom State there's a lot there's a commitment to core values, and there's respect for the Senate President, especially if across party lines. And so nobody should be surprised. In Akwa Ibom State, we are brothers and sisters. There's a lot of maturity, and there's clearly a handshake across borders. Mr. President, the Benue case presents, as I said earlier, a metaphor. But there are also some principles. There are some broader principles that are at play. Principles about our jurisprudence, principles about law, principles about our pragmatic approach, and of course, very respectfully, our commitments to our value system. Ghosts don't rig elections. I never seen before where ghosts are exhumed to intrude in the processes. It is the political class, it is the players that orchestrate some abuses, some which are quite monumental. So I think the issue goes beyond Benue. The issue goes beyond what we want as a country, as a democracy, sir. In Nigeria, in Nigeria, one gets worried when we celebrate victories over battles. We pay little attention to victories over wars. Even if a process favors us, even if it is flawed, we celebrate it. But when a process turns against us, then there are concerns that are raised. So I think the time has come for us to really look at our value system, because a free and fair election is at the cornerstone of a democracy. And that's one way that we can win the respect of the international community. So we have to really look at attitudes, and the electoral laws and jurisprudence is very, very key. When one sees what happens in a country, one recollects the dark past, the days of the ABN, Association for Better Nigeria, characters that emerged, and the role of the judiciary, which puts us in a tailspin. We must come face to face with the challenges of our history and see how we can make amends for the sake of this country. Let us inculcate, let us encourage a value system that will give Philip, that must give Philip to free and fair election across party lines. Because abuses in democracy doesn't spare anyone. If it favors you today, it will be held hostage tomorrow. So my contribution, sir.
Let me thank you for your contributions. But let me point out that in Akwa Ibom said the elections were not perfect. The local government elections were not perfect. My colleagues are even appreciating the state governor for remaining steadfast realizing that it would be impossible for the Senate president to lose even his own local government. And that for him, some governors would have gone ahead to even announce what they like, saying that it belongs to the federal. He can go and do what he wants there. But that he announced the APC chairman of my local government who duly won the elections, and the state is PDP, that is where the commendation comes in. That with people like Governor Moeno, that there is hope. Not that the elections were perfect. I hope you understand that there is hope for us to have a national dialogue with a view to changing the situation. And so I actually do commend Governor Moeno for that. Like my colleagues have said, it was a very uncommon gesture on his part. But then, please, you can sit down. And then Senator Abamoro, you started this. You brought this up. And then you had support across party lines. Now, the world needs to know that it is not limited to only the PDP states. That the sham of local government election goes beyond party lines. I think that's the conclusion of the Senate. And that there is need for us to do something to reposition the local government as a third tier of government. But what you are seeing here is that it has never really been a third tier of government. So we commend the Supreme Court of Nigeria for the ruling that the funds of local government should go direct to the local governments. But then we, on our part, in the National Assembly, must give Philip. We must take the next step to ensure that the decision that has been so far given by the Supreme Court becomes alive. Even all these things about elections, or selection or coronation of local government chairmen and councillors, we are the ones to do something about. If the public sees us crying, then they will lose hope in democracy. So we are giving notice to the public that we are poised to change the situation for the better. I think that's the essence of this dialogue. That is why I allowed people to speak across party lines. But if Senator Olamilekan, if it's for any specific thing, we are past it. We are just saying that the next thing now is for us to discuss the way forward. And it's not going to be here. Like the SP Emeritus pointed out, all hands must be on deck. We must have a meeting, must have a national dialogue. The president must be there, the governors must be there, even the past governors must be there, and those who are doing second term, who will soon become past governors, should also realize that what they are doing to past governors and political office holders could also happen to them if the situation is not corrected. And then the public is waiting to see what the National Assembly will do to ensure that elections in the local governments are free and fair. For now, I always believe that we have only two tiers of government, the federal and the state. If we correct the election situation in local governments across the country, that's the only time we can have a three-tier system of government. So that we don't overflow the issue. Olamilekan, you just rang up.